And welcome back to the Golf Intervention Podcast. My name is Eric Layton. I'm here with my co-host, Rob Fales. We teach golf for a living, and on the Golf Intervention, we are solely dedicated to the process of helping you play better golf. On this mini episode today, we take just one question from a listener, and this one comes up all the time. So it may not be a listener question, but it's a question I get all the time, which is, should I have long irons, hybrids, or fairway woods in my bag? What is the answer? And is there an answer that we can give you on a podcast that will help you out today? And I think we can get to a bit of the answer there. So the answer is this.
Don't have a 3-wood.
That might be part of the answer. Depends on who you are.
All right, we can edit that out. I'm waging war against 3-woods right now, and I completely agree with everything John Sherman's saying, and so I just wanted to get that little in. So, again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting, but
I'm got to be honest. My students hit their 3-woods great, so I don't know what are you teaching over in Charlottesville? I mean, we're striping 3-woods in Richmond, buddy. So the answer is this, and this is what the Golf Intervention is all about for you faithful listeners. It depends on who you are and how you hit the ball, right, and what your goals are. And so I would say that when it comes to a proper club fitting and trying to determine really even mid-irons anymore, like we're pulling some mid-irons out of bags and going to hybrids. I mean, I have players all the way down to 8 hybrid these days, depending on club speed. So general rule of thumb is going to be the higher your club head speed and the better contact you make with the ball consistently, likely you're a better player and you're going to be having more of the mid and long irons and potentially hybrid and or fairway wood. Just depends on that mix that you want. Your club fitter should be able to create a bag for you that you know you can hit all the shots that you need to on the course. So there's some considerations here are going to be, A, how forgiving of a club do I need, right? That's why you don't see tour players with tons of, I mean, they still play blade irons and a lot of, up to 3 iron, a lot of them, or sometimes even 2. They don't need tons of forgiveness, right? So they're trying to get something else out of their clubs. They hit it high and far and with lots of spin, so they don't need the club design to help them with that. I will say that if you are someone who hits your driver under 200 yards, which is going to be a lot of you that listen to this, you're likely needing some hybrids and fairway woods. Okay, why? Because you've got to get clubs that are longer than 7 iron to go up in the air, go over something at the front of the green, and stop on an approach shot. You can't be rolling the ball up there. So the lower your club head speed is, the more you need the center of mass to be lower and further back from the face so it launches it higher. Lots of 9-woods are in play these days too, people, for this exact type of player. Because if you're hitting your driver 200 yards, a 9-wood, probably not playing a 3-wood to your point because you don't have the club speed to hit a 3-wood in the air. So you're at 4-wood or 5-wood. Sometimes people play this Heavenwood club from Callaway, which is kind of a cool idea. And then you've got maybe even a 7-wood and a 9-wood, and then maybe even like a 6 or a 7 or an 8 hybrid to help you hit that ball higher in the air. Here's the point, though. You've got to go get fit and test these out on TrackMan. The key components here are going to be the peak height that you hit the ball and carry distance. And so you've got to have, for your approach shots, if you're a long enough player to get to your par 4s and 2, you've got to hit the ball high enough so it can come down out of the air steeply enough to be able to stop on the green. Okay, so it kind of depends on who you are. The higher your club head speed is, the more likely you're going to be in a 3-wood and in long irons and maybe a hybrid. And then the slower your club speed is, it's the more likely you're going to have lots of fairway woods and hybrids and very few irons in the bag. And then if you're kind of in the middle, like probably inside the bell curve of people that play golf, it's going to be probably, that standard bag for someone that drives at 230 is probably 6 iron as your longest iron these days, with a 5 or a 6 hybrid in there, and then 7-wood, 5-wood, 4-wood driver, something like that. And maybe a 3-wood for my students because they seem to all, I coach them up to hit the 3-wood. I don't. So anyway, what about you, Rob? I know that was a lot. I was trying to get kind of. It's hard to piece that.
No,
out,
my question would be what do you tell the low single digit handicaps who are swing driver 104, 105 who are trying to figure out if they want to have like a 4-iron or a 4 hybrid.
I would say the big answer there is going to be, what am I using it for?
Yeah.
So if I'm that person, it's going to be long par threes and second shots on likely par fives. Mm-hmm. If I'm that person that's swinging it at 104, 105, it's likely I'm not hitting tons of approach shots into par fours with a 4-iron. Because I will tell you, I'm that person. I'm like 103, 104 kind of club speed. I play the back tees most of the time. I'm not hitting. I carry a 4-iron. I have actually a 4 hybrid and a 4-iron that I'll kind of switch back and forth depending on how I feel. But I don't hit a lot of 4-irons into par fours. I'm still hitting predominantly 6-iron and down as my approach shot. It's a par 5 situation and it's a par 3 situation. And the reason I carry a 4-iron is, for whatever reason, when I put it on a tee, I like to hit an iron better than a hybrid. And so when I'm playing James River, there's a lot of these 200 from the back tees. There's a lot of these 230-yard par 3s that I would much rather hit a 4-iron on than a 4 hybrid.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of switch back and forth. But if I'm playing a shorter course where I'm going to be approaching par 5s in 2 shots, I'd rather hit the hybrid from the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it just goes back to who you are as a player and how you hit the ball, how high you hit the ball.
Yep.
Is it more of an approach shot club, par 5, or depending on how you like it on a par 3?
Yeah.
I think is the answer there. But it's likely that person probably needs a 7 wood instead anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean
that's true.
And then when you get like into scratch or even plus handicaps, then the gearing becomes really the main detriment for the hybrids, because then you're hitting it off the toe or the heel and you're getting a bunch of curve, and you're like, all right, well, if I can hit an iron, I'm not going to generally get that curve and that necessarily that dispersion. So you're trying to figure out, okay, well, would you rather have, like, do you need more like the height, like the peak height, maybe from a hybrid, but then sacrificing the like the toe heel gearing, or
There's
would you?
One other consideration though, you're going to miss a 4-iron short more often than you will a hybrid. So you're right on the gearing right to left, but the low face miss on an iron is going to come up way shorter of the grid. Like your dispersion long to short is probably much longer on an iron than it's going to be on a hybrid. Because that center of mass being lower. And so this is why I think I don't like the hybrid on the par 3s is the gearing of it, because you're hitting it higher on the face off the tee anyway, and then you get a little on the toe. For me, it's a toe miss. It just tends to hook a bit off
exactly
off that shot. And so I like a 4-iron because I don't get that.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to hit a par 5 and 2, I'm not going to carry a front bunker with a 4-iron and get stuff on a green. It's not happening.
Right.
So that's good. That's good. That was a good question. Thank you for the question, listener. So there you go. Long irons, hybrids, fairway woods. What is the mix that's best for you? Hopefully that answers that question for you. And we will catch you next time on the Golf Intervention Podcast.